to you about the whole premise of the farm? Ever give you like the full
No,
tour
actually,
breakdown?
that was one of the most important things I think we want to hear.
Okay. So I grew, myself personally, I grew up in this house. Been here for 22 years. Growing up, there was not a farm here. This was just a horse pasture that went straight downhill. My background in farming is at zero. No, never farmed up until 5 years ago. Never thought about agriculture in the sense of growing food at a production rate.
What were you going to be when you grew up?
That's a tough question.
I mean, before you started farming.
We were working on, me and my father, we were working for a company that would do large retaining wall systems, but they were called gravity
Keystone
wall.
walls.
Yeah, keystone walls. But these were with 2-ton blocks. So they'd be set with like cranes, things like that. And they would be like 40 feet high. I think the biggest one that we did was 40 feet high, 800 feet.
So you were a building contractor.
Yeah. And that was my background up until then. And then my folks were thinking about selling the property. And I was at that point, I told them, I was like, maybe we should try and keep, 3 acres in San Diego County, probably keep that in our name. And so I asked them if they wanted to start a business. Yeah, and so there was never a set business plan of what we were going to do. It was just something to kind of keep the land in our name. So we started to build out an event center. When we started doing that, we started growing some of our own nursery plants, things like that, to plant out as landscapes. And I thought it'd be nice to have a small garden for people to kind of walk through and check out as they were getting married or whatever, things like that. And once that garden, sure enough, 60 days, you have plentiful stuff to harvest. Got 60 days later, we harvested some stuff and we set a small farm stand, and we made like $200 that weekend. And I was like, oh, we could do this again. So then within like 6 months after that day, we did every single weekend, 6 months. We actually closed down through that winter because I didn't know what the hell to grow or anything like that.
Right.
Closed down, started back up the next, told all my friends, everyone, that we started a farm. And at that point I felt obligated to make sure it was going to become something. And then, so then that next season we started really growing hard, where we got a tractor out here. We started terracing in smaller terraces. We started another one up here, and then it just scaled from there. Within 6 months, became full-fledged farmer. Now 5 years later, we have 5 full-time staff. We run year-round. We supply the 5 different grocery stores, 3 different farmers markets, 10 different restaurants, and this is all twice a week on what I would consider about a half acre of vegetable production. 3 acres in total, but when you add up the bed feet, it's only about a half acre of vegetable production. If you were to slam it out.
It's really compact.
Yeah, but it's another thing about the farm too. Don't use any type of fossil fuels. Everything's done by hand. There is no petroleum-based product being used on the farm either. So no fossil fuels, no petroleum, it's the same, and then it's like a zero chemical farm. We don't spray any sprays, even organic sprays on the farm, and I'm very proud of that, because I think
And that's why we're here.
Yeah, and I think once you create this nice balance between you have the human world and then you have the natural world, and when you kind of blend them together, that's when you have like a nice ecosystem working together in unison.